guys, welcome to episode 77 of the Knitting McPurley podcast. I am Devin Bentry. You can find me online at knittingmcpurley.com. I'm Knitting McPurley on Instagram, and if you would like to email me, I am Devin at knittingmcpurley.com. So good to see you guys. Welcome if you're new. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Happy Easter. I am podcasting a day early because of Good Friday tomorrow. Felt like podcast didn't really work on that day. So it is Thursday, Holy Thursday, but happy Easter. I hope you're having wonderful weather. We are having absolutely gorgeous weather here in Virginia. Yesterday we were at the pool. My sister-in-law and her family, they have one of those backyards that has everything. And so we go over to their house a lot in the summertime and hang out at the pool. And it was open yesterday and the kids swam and it was a lot of fun. The weather has been nice enough for that. I think we're going to head over again later today too. And what is more appropriate for Easter, beautiful weather, and springtime than an advent calendar? If you have not picked up a Knitting McPurley advent calendar, please go pre-order one over on my website. They are $125 for the pre-order. I know it's a little early, but it is something to look forward to. They will ship in October. DK weight yarn, stripes and brights, winter accessory, mystery knit along that comes along with that. I think it's a great value for the money because a lot of advent calendars do not come with a pattern, and this one does, and it's fun, and we all do it together, and it's been really fun in the past. I'm hoping this will be my best one yet. We shall see. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So this morning, my husband had to go into work, which he normally does not. He works from home a lot post-COVID. So he's leaving this morning, and I come down the stairs and I'm carrying the dog, and I said, okay, bye, have a good day. He goes, see ya. And then he sees that I have the dog. He goes, Rocky. He comes over and he's petting Rocky. And I'm like, oh, you gotta love dogs. I'm a dog person. Who knew? I had no idea I was a dog person, but now I love them. I don't think I just didn't understand them before, but they are great. I love them so much. Dogs are better than people in some ways, and I'm a firm lover of people, but I do love dogs. They are great. Anyway, I have a wee giveaway for this episode. Last week, I filmed the podcast, and then later that day, I received a package from Jennifer Yun of her amazing leather Botero, I'm not sure how you say it. She uses this amazing Italian leather that's like ethically sourced and all that kind of fancy stuff, sustainably dyed. I don't know what they say, but all that stuff. I got her package later that day, and I put them in the shop quietly for a little while. And then I sent them out to my newsletter subscribers, and then they were on Instagram, and now they're gone. But don't worry, I will have more. And I have one that is extra that I will be giving away. So this is how they ship. She packaged them in these adorable little bags. And there's a little card in there too. It's really cute. And as she pointed out to me, I am the only one who has this color. She does not have this in her shop because she does not sell the Devon scissors, which are also Canadian. I was sure, and I've had these for a long time. I've had these for like 3 years, and I thought that they came from the US, but they come from Canada. Not because of any reason, just because I didn't read carefully. But these Devon scissors, I wanna get them in there carefully. These Devon scissors fit in this pouch so beautifully that was made specifically for these scissors, and they are just so pretty. It's a really, really pretty, like deep yellow. It just has a good feel to it. And on the back, it's got her little imprint. But these are just so gorgeous. They sold out in less than a week, but there are more coming. I will have a few more in this color. in addition to some in a new summer color. And these are exclusive for me. She's letting me have these colors exclusively, which is just so much fun. I love it. So even Canadians have been ordering them because they're like, I want that color. So this color is called Ochre, and they're gone for a little bit. I'll have a couple more. So if you want one, when these come back, sign up for my newsletter, because newsletter people always get to shop first. And if you want one, there will only be a few in the next shop update. But if you want one before that, you can enter to win this one just by leaving me a comment below. All comments will be included, unless you specifically don't want yours included. Like if you already bought one and don't need another one, you don't have somebody you could gift it to, then you can just mention in the comments if you still want to leave a comment saying, don't include me in the giveaway. But if you would like to be included in the giveaway, leave any comment below and I will choose randomly a winner for this lovely scissor sleeve and Devon scissors. So completely Canadian. Gotta love it. Love the Canadians. Okay, so that is the giveaway. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Okay, next week, my husband and I are going to Lake Junaluska. So exciting. I hope to record the podcast there and include some footage and pictures and stuff like that. So next week's episode should be really fun. That may also be up a day early. We are not exactly sure of our Thursday, Friday plans. We talked about going to Mount Airy in North Carolina, which is not that close to Lake Junaluska. It's a couple hours away. But we're big Mayberry fans, and Mount Airy is kind of like the original Mayberry. It's where Andy Griffith, the actor, is from, and he kind of styled Mayberry after his hometown. And I think they've really embraced that from what I hear. They have like statues and museums and things like that. So we may go do that because we're just that dorky. If anybody has any tips for things to do while we're there, I thought we might do a hike. We both mountain bike, but I don't think the bikes are in ready to go condition. I don't even know. I don't know what we're going to do about that. We might. I don't know. But if there's any other suggestions, if it's in either the Lake Junaluska or Mount Airy area, definitely let me know. If you're new, it's my husband and I. It's our 20-year wedding anniversary next week. And so we're using this opportunity to go visit the site for the Knitting McPurley Cozy Mountain Retreat, which is happening next January. So I'll have footage from that and we'll get to check it out. And at that point, I hope to kind of ramp up planning for things like classes and things like that. So that'll be really good to get that ball rolling. I have been working on the swag bags, just kind of putting those together. Those are so much fun because they're basically just like little gifts. I'm hoping they'll be kind of medium-sized gifts. I'm hoping to have really good swag for the swag bags for the retreat. If you're planning on coming and you have a small business, I'll be putting an email out too, but just because I'm thinking of it right now, if you have anything that you would like to include in the swag bags, either a coupon or a freebie or something that you would like to include to promote your business, just send me an email, devon@knittingmcpurley.com, and I would love to get that in there. We have I'm putting together 90 swag bags just so that I have a couple extra. And if I end up with extras at the end of the retreat, I'll use those for giveaways after the retreat for people who couldn't make it, but who wanted to. So it's a lot of information. Okay. Progress and shop news. I have been working pretty much, sorry, I have something in my eye. I hate that. Then I end up doing this the whole time. It's funny, when I go to edit these podcasts, I notice how often I'm like moving around and scratching my nose, and I'm just a fidgeter, I think. I think I've always been kind of a fidgeter. I just don't sit still very well. Plus allergies. I think like allergies plus fiber, and I'm just like, my nose is always itching. Anyway, I have been pretty much exclusively working on in terms of knitting, I've been doing a lot of things. It's been busy around here. But in terms of knitting, I have been working on my Everywhere sweater, and check this out, you guys. I'm gonna put it on. It does not have sleeves, and I am currently, oh, and before I get there, how about this Josephine necklace? It goes so well with these earrings that my friend gave me. But this is my like total rock star necklace. I have a few of these in stock. I asked, and this is not one that's going out of style. I mean, out of style. It's never going out of style. This is a replica of a Victorian. I always say French Victorian. Why do I say that? Because Victoria was Queen of England. I think because that period was kind of popularized by her, but it's a French replica of a locket that people used to wear a lot during that period. Anyway, this is the Josephine stitch marker necklace. It's very, very fabulous. It has gold and silver and just a really awesome bail on the top. And the good thing about this one, like Odette, is that it holds a lot of stitch markers and it will hold big stitch markers too. Anyway, here is this sweater. I am in love with it. Like, I just could not love it anymore. This is my latest design that I'm working on. We're still on the needles here, but I have a really large needle. So I ended up putting in a pocket. This is just the top of the pocket is on hold. And then what we'll do later is we're just gonna pick those up and knit the back of the pocket on. And it has a buttonhole. And the reason I did that is because I wanted it to be a good size pocket, and I want to be able to put my phone in there. Like, I want to be able to drop my phone in and button it so that I know that even if I'm, moving around, I'm not going to lose my phone. So there are pockets on both sides. This is an all over twisted rib pattern with bulky held double with mohair. So this is Knitting McPurley Berlin Bulky and Munich Mohair. Thank you, Germany. These are in the same colorway. This is the dusk colorway. And it's just so interesting how the different fibers take the dye, because the mohair is just a much lighter gray, even though it's the exact same concentration and everything. But, oh, you guys, I could not love this anymore. So this is, you can't really tell right now because it is not blocked, but it is a V-neck, and it's going to come down like this. And once it's blocked, it will fit a little bit better. And there are 4 buttons right here. I have big, I didn't bring them up here, but I have big 1.5" wooden buttons. And it actually looks super cute with short sleeves, but I'm going to be knitting full long sleeves with this because I would like it to be a heavy winter sweater. So it is warm. It's very warm. And one thing that I did here that I've never done before is a stockinette edge, but I love it. And it rolls a lot right now because it's not blocked, but when I block it, it will still roll, but not as much. So I'm gonna take this off because it is not heavy winter weather right now. But anyway, that is in the process of being written right now. And because it's bulky and I'm super motivated to work on it, it is working up so fast. I expect this to be in the testing stage probably around the same time as the Hepburn sweater that I wore last week, probably May. But this is going to be a much quicker turnaround test knit because it's a thicker yarn and it will knit up a lot faster. Is there anything else I wanted to say about that? I feel like there is. Yeah, I don't have hard details on that test knit yet because I'm just not there yet. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been knitting. But there's a lot of behind the scenes things happening too. Like I've been working on the advent calendar and on the retreat. And I have several test knits going on right now. The retro 90s socks are currently with testers. I don't know if I even established a hashtag for that, but I should. I will send them a hashtag and I'll let you know what it is. Probably hashtag Knitting McPurley Retro 90s Socks. How about that? I'll put it up on the screen. That'll be our hashtag so we can follow along. You can follow the testers if you want. And that is going to be a free pattern out at the beginning of April, I think. I get my dates mixed up. That's why I need to keep good notes, because I can't remember dates. Numbers. So, okay. And also the Hepburn test knit is coming up. That pattern is just about finished, and it is going to be going to the tech editor on Monday. That should be a pretty quick turnaround with her. She is great. My tech editor, I've had several tech editors over the years, and tech editors are just the best. She's so detail-oriented and so nitpicky. At the same time, you know, this is just a plain stockinette sweater, so it's pretty straightforward. So it shouldn't take her too long. About that, I am going to be offering yarn for the Hepburn sweater. If you want to pick some up now, not now, but next week when it's up on the site, I'm gonna have it there primarily for testers, but I will have plenty if anyone else wants to order some. I'm gonna have a couple colors, and that's gonna be really, really great. You won't need it until later because that pattern won't be out until the summer, but primarily for the testers. And if you are a tester, you can use a code and get 25% off. So that is nice. Finally, the last thing that's going on is that we are wrapping up our Lent mystery knit along, the Laterry. Oh, hi, Charlotte's here. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
All right, if we're gonna bloop this, then we gotta. Anyway, the Laterry shawl is going to go out to everyone who bought the mystery knit along as a final pattern. That'll go out on Saturday. Also, that pattern will go up on the website if you're interested in just the pattern. The full pattern, obviously not as a mystery knit along anymore because the mystery will be out by Saturday. So, Laterre is a Latin word that means rejoice. The middle Sunday of Lent, which is, I guess, Lent's about 6 weeks long, so I think it's either the third or I think it's the third Sunday of Lent. It's called Laetare Sunday. It's like Gaudete Sunday in Advent. And both of those words mean rejoice. I don't know enough Latin to know why they both mean rejoice, and they're not the same word. I don't know why. Maybe someone else knows why. Any Latin lovers out there? Okay. Couple more things for progress and shop news. Next week, I hope, in addition to the yarn for the Hepburn sweater going up on the website, I hope to have the new scent of my Knitter's Hand Balm up on the website for summer. I have a new springy summery scent that's coming out hopefully next week. That would be great, although maybe not. It may take another week. We'll see. We'll do our best. It'll all be fine. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you, which is pretty fun, is that Gigi, my middle daughter, came up to me last week and said, "Mom, I saw this adorable sweater on Instagram and YouTube, and I just love it. I think it is so cute. Can we knit this?" And so I looked at it, and I'm gonna put up a couple pictures here so you can get kind of the idea of what we're going for when she says this. And I'm like, totally, we can totally do this. This is like what is this even called? Is it super bulky? It is jumbo. So it's even bigger than super bulky yarn. It is a size 7 or a level 7 on the label right here. It's just gigantic yarn. And you can see that recommended for this yarn is a knitting needle level size 50. So I was like, we can totally do this. So this is a 25 millimeter needle. So we went over to Michael's and we bought these gigantic things, which I think are great. I think I could totally use these for teaching in the future too, because they are easy to see. Now it's not that easy to knit with them because they're just huge. Here's my picture for for the cover. Awesome. Okay. So we went to Michael's, like I said, and we got these needles, and we picked out some of this yarn from Yarnspirations. Now, some of it is this Bernat blanket big, and some of it, I couldn't find the label. She had taken the label off, but it was something chubby. It had the word chubby yarn in it. It said chubby. But they felt almost exactly the same. Now this fiber is 100% polyester. Care instructions on reverse side. Okay, I want to be able to wrap this one up in case she wants to return this one if she doesn't need it. It says wash in hot water on delicate and tumble dry low. So this is a very, very easy care yarn. It feels like a terry cloth bathrobe. It's just so fat. Look how fat it is. And it's so non-itchy. Like, I'm kind of a purist, as you know. Like, I wanted to knit it with like a wool roving or something. But when I mentioned wanting to knit one of those giant wool blankets, a lot of you said, don't bother, don't waste your money, because that single ply like roving that you have to use to make those giant blankets, like the one I showed in this picture, it pills, it fluffs, it just does not hold up to wear. So if I were gonna make one of those, I would absolutely use this kind of yarn from Michael's, which is where we got it. It's got like it feels like a thread down the middle, and then it's almost like a terry cloth texture that sticks out from that middle thread. So Gigi knit a swatch and I measured the gauge, and it was 3 stitches and 4 rows in 4 inches, which is 0.75 stitches per inch. Okay, so so this, I measured her literally with a ruler because we couldn't find the tape measure. So, you know, it's gonna be fine. So this is the back, basically. And I think that when we block it, it will stretch a little bit more. It's a little short, but I think we're gonna block this puppy. I'm gonna help her sew it together. We did it in pieces because of the nature of the pattern. Like, it just looked like it needed to be in pieces. So this is the back. This is one side of the front. And she wanted it to be totally asymmetrical, like the pictures that we found online. Oh yeah. And so that's the other side of the front. So she's not here right now. I wanted to have her show it, but she went to her friend's house for the day. So I will definitely post pictures of that when we're done. This is a really fun project. I really want a blanket out of this. I think I would do just what she did here, because this plain stockinette does not roll that much when you're knitting such a large object. I would love just a plain stockinette blanket. So I might buy the yarn for her and have her knit it for me. I don't really want it in pieces. So she could either arm knit it, or maybe we could get a circular needle. I'm not sure. I think I could go either way. But can you imagine? Okay, this is just, I literally thought of this just now. How cool would it be if we held it double and did an arm knit it? I don't know. But I think it would make a great couch blanket. Don't you think? I think that would be great. And it's so soft. And it was a good price too. I think I paid, actually Gigi bought this yarn herself. I think she paid $11.99 per skein, but we had a 20% off coupon. So do the math. But it's not bad, you know. And this, let me see how much yardage. I think it's like 37 yards. So to make a blanket, this blanket pattern that's on the ball calls for 7 balls of yarn to make that. So if you had a good coupon, probably one that's off your whole purchase, that would be great. Michael's tends to have pretty good coupons. So anyway, that was a very long progress and shop news segment, but that's what we've been working on. It's been a lot of stuff going on over here. It's really, really fun. So this week's topic of the week is swatches. And I particularly wanted to talk about this topic because I make a lot of usable swatches. Basically, when you swatch for a project, if you're a veteran knitter, then of course you know this, you swatch for a project to check your gauge to make sure that A, you're gonna have enough yarn to finish the project, and B, if it's something that needs to fit, that it's going to fit. So swatching is very important for something that needs to fit, or if you have a limited amount of yarn. If you're making something like a hat or a shawl, or a scarf or mittens or something that is kind of a one size fits all kind of thing, and you have plenty of yarn, then you can probably skip the swatching. Unless you are a particularly tight or loose knitter, or if you're familiar with the designer and you're used to their gauge that they usually use. For example, I have been accused of being a loose knitter, which is extremely offensive. Oh my gosh, how dare you? Who says I'm loose? No, but I have been accused of being a loose knitter. I don't think I'm a loose knitter. I feel like I knit with a decent tension, but I guess there's maybe a lot more tight knitters out there. Fine, you call me loose, I'm gonna call you tight. So, just kind of know how you knit based on other knitters' gauge, if you can. And if you don't know, then you'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. But I wanted to talk about usable swatches. Now, the primary use for a swatch is if you run out of yarn. You can always unravel that swatch and reuse that yarn. As I showed last week with my Hepburn sweater, you can just use that yarn right up. You don't need to do anything with it. If you do not like that it's kind of kinked and you want to straighten it out, what you can do is kind of make it in a loop like it comes from the store or the dyer or wherever you get your yarn. Tie it up, and then you can submerge it and just kind of, block it, submerge it, and then drape it over something and let it completely dry. In the sun is a good place to do that if you don't have a spin dryer. Or you can put it in your washing machine on a spin cycle if your machine will do that. So you just don't want it to get tangled up. But if you tie it up in a long hank, then you should be able to block that if that's your thing. So that is the primary use of a swatch. However, if you are using another color because you don't want to use that same color because you have extra in another color, like I have done in the past, I'm going to talk about some swatches I have here, then you will not need to unravel it. So there are two kinds of swatches. There is swatching flat and there is swatching in the round. If your project is flat, you should swatch flat. If your project is knit in the round, then you should swatch in the round. And the reason for that, obviously, when you think about it, I think it's obvious, is that when you're knitting in the round, you are constantly knitting to get stockinette stitch. When you are knitting back and forth, you are going knit, purl, if you're getting stockinette stitch. So you're doing something different and you want to measure your gauge accurately. So I have the last two swatches that I made here in my lap, and I want to show them to you. This is my swatch for the Hepburn sweater. You can see that I have not even woven in the ends. But what I did here is I used a different color because I did not plan on unraveling it. This was just a scrap that I have. And what I did is I cast on enough stitches for a headband. So now I have made a swatch, I got my gauge knitting in the round, and I have a wearable object. I like to do this because I don't want to waste knitting. I don't want to waste yarn. I love using scraps. If you followed me for any length of time, you know how much I love scraps. I have a lot of scrap projects. If you have a lot of scraps, particularly of fingering weight, I have a lot of shawls that can use scraps or do use scraps, such as the Timothy Ridge or the Pine Grove Ridge or the Laetare shawl or the Noah shawl. A lot of them are good for using scraps. But another way that you can use up scraps is if you are reusing that yarn in a project and you want to knit up a wearable swatch. So I like the headband. You could also do a hat if you wanted, because, even though you're going to decrease up here, you can still measure your gauge down here. So what I did, I can't even remember. I didn't write it down, I don't think, but I just basically cast on what I thought would be a good amount of stitches for my head based on the gauge that I thought I would get. I just kind of guessed. like, or you can even look up online, you know, what gauge should I get for this weight of yarn with this needle? And the internet will give you some suggestions. And then you can go from there and just knit your swatch, because, you know, a headband or a hat is going to fit within a few inches of each other. This could be a little bit tighter or a little bit looser, and it would still work for my very average size head. I think my head is 22 inches, which is a very average sized head. Now that I have been a bald person, I know I don't have a big head. Surprise! If you think your head is big, just shave it and check. So anyway, if you have to knit a swatch in the round, making a headband is a great way to do that. And then you have a wearable object that you can keep or gift or whatever you want once you weave in the ends, which I have, or you can just tuck those ends in. Sometimes I do that too. Okay, another kind of swatch is the flat swatch. Now the sweater that I just showed, my Everywhere sweater that I'm working on now, is knit flat. So I used my same yarn here, and did I show this? I can't remember if I did or not. And I knit this swatch, which has also been blocked. And now the flat knit is slightly less versatile, I guess, than the circle knit, because the circle knit you can, I think, turn into some sort of headwear. My primary use for these swatches are doll blankets for Charlotte. We have her in a bloop at the end, as always. It's like she knows. She's like, I have to come in because people are expecting it now. But Charlotte loves doll blankets, even though this is kind of, to her, this is a boring color. But that's my primary use. Another thing that you could use them for is a coaster. Or if you wanted to stitch it together, you could make like a Starbucks cup holder that keeps you from burning your hand, especially if you're using nice fat yarn like this. So I recommend using your swatches and think ahead of time, like, what can I make this swatch become? Because then I have a knitted object. My knitting isn't wasted. I have a use for it. And that's, you know, in the case of, I'm definitely not going to have to unravel it. And this one I may have to. I don't think so, though. I dyed a lot of yarn for this sweater. In fact, I think I'm going to have extra. So maybe I'll make a little one. Oh my gosh, how cute would that be? So cute. Okay, I come up with these things off the cuff. You guys, I am a nonstop idea machine, and I like this sifter that sifts the workable ideas from the unworkable. In my humble opinion, they're all good ideas, but you know, I am but one woman who can only do so many things. So it's like, can I do this? Yes, I can. Can I do this? No, I can't. So they just sift into two categories. I imagine it to be like one of those like Dr. Seuss machines, you know, or like, did you ever see the movie Boss Baby, where there's this image of heaven where the little babies get sifted down into it's so cute. It's adorable. Where they powder their little butts and, oh, it's adorable. Anyway, tangent. Okay, now I would like to go on to the word of the week, which is a pure jargon word. Jargon is a fancy word that makes me think of like big garbage cans that stuff clatters around in. And I like to use that word. It refers to language that is unique to a particular discipline. This week's word is frog. And this word is one that I think could exit the knitting community and go into the world at large to mean to undo something. But it has not yet. And that's one thing that's interesting about the word frog. This word is new. It is knitting slang for ripping something out. If you frog something, such as if you frog a swatch to reuse the yarn, or if you're working on a sweater and you don't like it, or you don't like whatever part of it and you frog it, you rip it out. This comes from 1996. This is an internet era word that originated in the fiber community and is still in the fiber community. And the reason why we say frog it is because of rip it. Rip it sounds like ribbit, ribbit. And that's why we call it frogging. There is some speculation. I don't agree. I think this is made up, but I could be wrong. There is some speculation that kinked yarn that you get after frogging something resembles a stitch earlier referred to as the frog stitch. Possibly. I doubt it. Have you ever heard of the frog stitch? I don't know. I just learned about the Chinese waitress cast on, so there's plenty of stuff I've never heard of. Maybe everyone out there is well versed in the frog stitch and it's just me. But I personally think it's the rip it because that's the way I learned it, so I don't know. Anyway, this week's word of the week is very short. It does not come from the Old English. Some very clever knitter in 1996 came up with it, stuck it on the internet, and it gained traction. And we're still using it today. I tend to say rip it. I tend to say rip it out, or I think I say rip it out. That's usually what I say because frogging, using the word frog and frogging implies that the person knows what you're talking about. And not everyone does. Even knitters, you know, if they're new to the knitting community or if they're not a part of the online knitting community, they still might not know that word. So anyway, that is the word of the week. Okay, this week's, so here's what happened. So last week, I did not have a knitting story. And that so saddened the community that I got a bunch, which thank you so much if you sent me a knitting story, because this is everybody's favorite segment. It's my favorite segment. I love hearing your knitting stories. And this week's knitting story does not disappoint. It is fabulous. I am going to read it to you because it was sent to me that way, and I hope that I will do it justice because I'm totally picturing myself in this scenario as she describes it. So just try and get that mental picture in your mind as we go through the story. It is great. She says, I was in college and it's about 2:30 in the morning, okay? I was trying to go to sleep. Oh, this is from Kristen Michelle, by the way. She won my giveaway a few weeks back. Anyway, thank you, Kristen. She's in college, 2:30 in the morning. She's trying to sleep, okay? And you know how it is. You know how it is, right? It's maybe not that quiet. Still 2:30 in the morning, like, be quiet, right? Trying to get to sleep. And the girl in the dorm room next door has her music and bass. So it's not just the noise of the music, but the you know, the bedposts are shaking, right? Cranked up so loud that I could see things on my desk rattling around, okay? Annoying. After about 15 or 20 minutes...
Where's Rocky?
He's out back.
Where?
Go find him. After about 15 or 20 minutes, which is way longer than I would have put up with it, I think. I would have been over there much sooner. I'm kind of impressed that she lasted that long. After 15 or 20 minutes, I could not take it anymore, jumped out of my bed, and walked over there to tell her that she needed to turn it down. She had her door propped open. So I get to her door, and I noticed that she's sitting on the floor making what I later learned to be a pair of gloves. Not being a knitter at the time, I had no idea what she was doing, and all I saw were 5 needles moving around in tandem, creating something absolutely stunning. I completely forgot how irritated I was and just blurted out, "What is that? Please teach me." Yes. I love it so much. So the story gets even better after this. At about 3 a.m., in our jammies, we head to Walmart, grab the cheapest yarn, her quotations, not mine, and needles we could find, and she taught me how to knit right there in the Walmart parking lot. I have been knitting ever since, and I have her horrible music to thank for it. Isn't that the best learning how to knit story? Oh my gosh. Like, it encapsulates what it feels like to be a knitter, because we're just like, drop everything. I have to know how to do that. I was exactly the same way when I learned how to knit. And also college. Like, don't you remember that? Like, it's 3 a.m. Whatever, I have to learn how to knit right now. Let's go to Walmart, which in a college town is surely going to be open at 3 a.m. Buy what we need, and we're going to sit in the car with the dome light on, learning how to knit. I just love it so much. That is just such a great story. Thank you, Kristen, so much for sharing it. If you have a knitting story that you would like to share that is great like this one, or heartwarming, or tear-jerking, or adorable, or funny, or whatever, send it to me. I love a video because I love to see your faces. If you want to do just audio, that's fine too. Or you can do what Kristen did and write it out, and I would be happy to read it for you with my characteristic interjections. So, thank you so much for joining me. I do have a Charlotte bloop at the end. On a beautiful day, Rocky cannot be torn away from the yard. He loves the yard on a beautiful day. He just lays there in the grass in the sun. So that is where he is, and he did not make an appearance this week. But anyway, I hope you'll join me for the podcast next week, because I will be podcasting from Lake Junaluska. I'm going to show you everything I can show you, from the hotel room to the lobby to the porch. Hopefully we'll have some decent weather. I don't even care. Whatever. If it rains and is cold, we're just going to bundle up in our knits. I hope to have my everywhere sweater done by then. I'm sure that I will. It knits up so fast. So I will have that to wear if it is cold. But anyway, join me next week. Oh, one more thing. Of course, it's always one more thing. This is my little Steve Jobs. One more thing. If you have not gotten on the wait list and you are interested in doing that, I do have a sizable wait list. I think there are 22 people on it right now, but I have had a few people cancel. So a couple people have gotten in off the wait list. Like, that's happening. So if you're interested, also, there's no commitment to get on the wait list. So if I ask somebody, you know, you're on the wait list, are you still interested? It's possible that they might say, no, I can't do it anymore, and I would go to the next person. So if you are interested, the description for that is on my website in the wait list. Click the little wait list button, and it tells you all about the retreat and what it includes. And I think it says what the payment requirements are. I'm pretty sure that's in there too. That's important. If you do cancel and someone takes your spot, I will refund as much of your money as I can. I am taking a fee because it is a pain, but I can give most of your money back. I'm doing like a $25 fee, and I can give you $75 back. It is a non-refundable deposit, but if I get somebody to take your spot, I'm very happy to give you back $75 of that. So anyway, I'll see you next week. Bye.
I will be right back. I will be very quick. Hold this.
Well, no, stay here and do the blue, because...
Can I just get them really, really fast?
I guess. We'll wait. Do, 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 do. It's about yarn? I don't know. Do, 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 do. There's 45 seconds of your life you can't get back. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for watching this far. You're truly awesome for watching this far. Pretty soon I'm just going to turn off the camera and say, too late, kid. You missed it. Are you coming? We're all waiting for you. What is it? She got it.
It's yarn.
Oh.
This is yarn.
Oh, look, he's lost a little bit of a stitch here.
Yeah.
Here is a big snowy owl that I knit for your older sister years and years ago.
Let me fit in.
Oh, okay. He's cute. I knit hers with green eyes because she has green eyes. Is that right? Is this Gigi's or Alexis's? I can't remember.
Gigi.
Yeah. Gigi doesn't have green eyes, but at that time I don't think I really knew what color her eyes were going to be.
Wait,
This is also the one with the error in the middle. Oh. Hello. Welcome to the Knitting McPurley podcast. I'm the
His
big
name
snowy owl.
is Georgie.
My name is Georgie. I'm a big snowy owl. Okay. Bye.
Jerry and Jagar.
Bye.